So when it comes to gifted students, just keep in mind that gifted children, this does not mean that they're just smart or they can answer a lot of math questions correctly. Being gifted, like actually passing the gifted assessment and being labeled gifted, has a lot more to do with how your brain works. Like you just have a special, unique way of looking at things, problem solving. Very highly creative thinkers are typically gifted. So just always keep that in mind. A lot of people just think gifted means smart. I will tell you that my oldest daughter is 8 years old and she is so freaking smart, like 99th percentile on all the standardized assessments that we've done. But she is not a gifted learner. Just the way her brain works, I just know she's not. Like, I'm not even gonna bother testing her. My middle child, who isn't really that strong in like sitting down and answering questions and getting 100% on all of her spelling and reading tests and things like that, she's not strong on that side of the academic spectrum, but she is so highly gifted. Like, I have got to get this kid IQ tested. Like, the way her brain works and the way she finds patterns and shapes and everything, like the drywall behind me, she will literally stare at the drywall and make shapes out of it. Not all gifted learners do that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, gifted learners' brains just work different. With that being said, gifted learners, they need what's called enrichment. Like, they cannot just sit in a regular classroom and do the worksheets and listen to the teacher, because they're going to get bored, and those are the kids that are going to fall through the cracks. So in order to provide this enrichment, whether it's in the homeschool or out in the public school system, if you have a good district that allows you to be creative with this, it is not giving them extra work. It's not making them do 5 worksheets instead of 3. Like, no, that's just going to turn them off. What you have to do is take whatever the activity is and modify it or alter it to work for their kind of thinking. So one way that you could do this would be like, if you have a gifted learner and you are doing a reading activity, you just read all about ants, and now they're supposed to go and complete a comprehension worksheet on ants, where it asks a question about what they read and they bubble in the answer. Well, for a gifted learner, I might, assuming that they understood the text, I might just have her go make a shadow box or do some kind of like creative activity to show me what she learned from that story about ants. Instead of sitting there and bubbling in the answers, she can go make like a little diorama. Remember when we used to do this in the shoe boxes, and give a little presentation about what she learned about ants. A lot of gifted learners like to engage in debate. So depending on how old your child is, you could have them do a little debate on what they learned with the ants. Like, maybe I would be versing them in this debate where I'm saying what I think about the ants and they're saying what they think about the ants based on what they read. It's always tying back to that comprehension, and we're using that as our activity for the day. This is called project-based learning. So if you just Google project-based learning for gifted learners, you will have a whole slew of topics that come up. That little shadow box that I just was talking about, that's one idea, but there are so many other things you can do. Also, using problem solving based curriculum. So this is Beast Academy. This is a math curriculum that it's not really advertised as being for gifted students, but when I looked at it, the very first thing I thought was like, gifted students need to do this curriculum, because it is not your average way of doing math. This is high critical thinking, problem solving. So if you can find a curriculum that's geared towards that problem solving style, that would be really beneficial for your gifted kid as well. Puzzles, riddles, brain teasers, those kinds of things that like your average typical student would be like turned off by or confused by. Gifted learners thrive with those kind of things. Hands-on as well. Like, I feel like every student, gifted or not, benefits from hands-on activities, but especially for gifted learners, again, if I'm doing math and we're working on fractions, I'm not going to want my gifted learner to sit there and do 50 questions on a worksheet for fractions. I might get her in the kitchen with me and we're doing fractions by using our measuring cups and doing a recipe together. And again, that's project-based learning. We're still learning, but I'm just gearing it towards the actual lesson, which was fractions. I really also feel like gifted learners benefit from that Montessori style of teaching and learning, to where you're taking an interest that they have, whether it's the ants or building or Legos or whatever, and you are basically designing your educational day around that interest. That is different from unschooling. Now, unschooling is another method that some parents of gifted learners might choose to go that route, but I'm talking about the Montessori method, which is something you can look into. It's a little confusing at first because it's not like the normal way of teaching and learning, but very good for gifted learners.